Welcome to the negative Ped Overlap tutorial 130. In this tutorial, we're going to review the use of a negative Ped in an overlap. A negative Ped means that if the Ped is running, if we're in a walk or Ped clear interval, the overlap will not time. In other words, the overlap is going to be red if the walk is up. I'm going to use the traffic circle at Weatherford, Texas for my little example of how to use this negative Ped. First thing I got to do is set up my phases. So I'm going to start off with 1 and 5, then I'll go to 2 and 6 and 4 and 8, and I can do any type of lead lag that I may need. 2 and 6 on the left and right entry are the east-west bound movements. 4 and 8 are the northbound and southbound movements into this circle. So it looks a lot like an 8-phase quad without 3 and 7. This shows all the phases I'm going to be using. 1, 2, 5, 6 over here, and then 4 and 8 north and south. Now we'll get into the overlaps. Now we're going to look at how the overlaps are set up, and the first thing we're going to look at is overlap 1. Overlap 1 is this mid-circle overlap, and it feeds from 1 and 2. So it's a simple, normal 1 plus 2 overlap. And then we're going to look at overlap 2, which is this exit overlap over here. That also has phase 8 in it. So it's 1, 2 plus 8 minus Ped 8, which means that if phase 8 Ped is in walk or Ped clear, the overlap is going to be inhibited. So it's going to be red. So we're not going to have a green signal or drive over the pedestrians. So now we'll look at the other side. Now we're going to look at the westbound approach, and we have overlap 3 up here. And overlap 3 is a 5 plus 6. So 5 is coming in here, 6 is coming in here, and it's just a normal overlap. Then we have overlap 4 over here, which is this exit overlap, and it's a 4 plus 5 plus 6. So we've added this phase 4 in the middle, so 4, 5, or 6 on overlap 4 is going to be green, except if the Ped 4 is running, because we have a negative Ped overlap or a negative Ped 4. So, and we have 2 Ped 4 movements here and here, so we certainly want to be red if that Ped is up. Now we're going to look at max time to see how this is programmed. Now there's not a lot to it. We just go to controller. We go to overlap configuration and overlap parameters, and we look at our overlaps. We have 4 overlaps. They're all normal. We have our included phases from the graphic before. We've labeled them, and I put a little delay time just to have travel. I don't think it's really necessary, but I wanted to have something in so they don't all start at once. And the only special programming is down in the additional overlap parameters. I simply put an 8 in for overlap 2 and a 4 in for overlap 4 as a negative Ped, and that's it. We're going to watch a cycle without the Ped calls being in. So we're in 4 and 8 yellow. We just went to 1 and 5. Our overlaps are up. We're going to leave 1 and 5, go to 2 and 6. So our outsides are on. All 4 overlaps are up. Back to 4 and 8. So this will cycle around and around. We could do lead lag or other combinations, but that's. Now we're going to watch it when I apply a Ped call to phase 4 Ped. So I'm going to reach over and click my test box, and we will see the little finger there, which means I have a call in for phase 4 Ped. We're leaving 2 and 6. We're going to 4. The walk is up. I don't know if you can see the white there in the middle, and the overlap's red. But notice the other side, overlap 2, is green because that's not affected. So that. Thank you for watching this tutorial with me. I hope you find it useful. It's always handy to be able to inhibit an overlap from coming up under special conditions. Also look at the negative phases and the negative overlaps. They work very similar. You shouldn't have any problem adapting them. Thanks for watching this tutorial. Bye.